last episode, we put this absolute rig together. First rip, we blew the head gasket. So today we've got some awesome new parts and we're going to get it back together and go for another rip. Okay, so we've got a bit of a
There's so much crap in this engine.
It's ridiculous.
Looks alright.
I have to reuse them.
Definitely reuse them.
So we knew the rods were going to be small, but we didn't think they were going to be that bad. Pistons actually have a bit of coating there on the skirt, but overall it looks pretty weak. So we've jumped onto max beating rods.
Holy dooly.
Let her rip, boys.
So it's time to put the new rods in. We've encountered a little bit of a problem. The stock rods have got a tapered top, so they fit into the piston really nice. And new rods don't. And we didn't realise it until we tried to install them. They don't go all the way down.
Oh, we better send them back then and get the right set, eh?
Oh yeah.
So taking that material off the top, we were a little bit worried that it's not going to be the same weight anymore.
So we're at 0. Yep. 547.
So we're trying to pull this balancer shaft thing off. We've cracked most of the bolts, but then when it comes to these ones, it's not looking good. And this one. So we're all ready to go back together. This has blown a head gasket, so we don't know if we got some distortion here on the top of the deck. So we're going to run around to our mate Howard, get the deck skimmed and the underside of the head done, and then we'll be ready to put it back together.
Square it is sitting in there.
So what would you expect to be a good result?
Just under 500, you know.
Yes.
So when we took the head over to Howard's and he did the hardness test, he said because the cylinder head's got that hot for some reason, it's caused the aluminium to go soft, and therefore it gives it a bit of a rough sort of look. So if you run the WD-40 over there in the stone, we'll see if we can polish it up a little bit. And it looks exactly the same.
So the Achilles heel of the QR is the open deck head. Apparently it blows head gaskets and it causes a lot of problems. We found a block brace online. Apparently it just slips in, we hit it down, and it makes it more of a closed deck design. We have to get something in there because it needs to be a little bit lower than the deck surface. Oh yeah.
Oh. That's very tight here, but not very tight here. It's not even touching.
No.
That's a real shit design. So next up is the head gasket, and then we can start putting the engine back together.
Go back to the second one.
Oh yeah. The other ones are good.
Yeah, they're sweet. We were going to get ARP studs, but we noticed that they're an M12 bolt from factory, so we're just going to put M12 bolts in there. They're massive. I don't see a point in going ARP.
So we began to torque the cylinder head with the new bolts. Problem is, we couldn't even get to a recommended first step of 98 Newton meters, and the torque wrench just kept going. We pulled them out. Here's an old bolt and a new one. There's like a 1/2 mil gap under there, so I've got an old bolt. All I want to try, see if we can get to the recommended settings with the old bolt. This is it. This is it, boys. Nah, it's still gonna pull.
Has he?
Now that we've put an old bolt back in there, these are those torque to yield bolts, so we couldn't even pull it up to 86 and we're meant to be at 98. So all we can think of now is we'll get another second-hand bolt and we'll only do it up to 86 Newton meters.
Stop it from stretching.
Just stop it from stretching and see if we can... Come on, 86. Alright, I've got an idea.
Still very tight.
So we'll take this bolt out, we'll get another second-hand one, and we'll skip that first stage now and just do the degree torque settings and leave it at that.
Yeah.
So how far is 60 degrees?
Well, if that's 90 and that's 45, I'm going to say like there. Good enough. So we read some forums from 2004. And the experts said to try and delete this, so we've just taken the chain off it. We've got to bolt it back in so all the oil lines are right, but we're not using this anymore.
When we tried to pull these bolts out before, we had to cut them off. Problem is now, it's going to be too expensive to buy these from the dealership, so we're going to see if we can find some second-hand ones.
I reckon just weld some nuts on the top. What do you reckon?
Oh, that's a great idea. Just about ready to put this bearing back on. It's got a bit of noise. Sounds worse. So next up is the clutch and flywheel. We are going to be trying to make some serious power with this, and it'd be such a shame if we put the whole thing back together and had a slipping clutch. But it doesn't come with flywheel bolts, so we're going to have to reuse these.
Before we run the car on the mud, we wanted to put it on the dyno, just check it over, see how much power it makes, put a quick tune in it.
Now watch me step. The week was murder. I'm gonna get rid of the stress. I'm feeling lighter. I'm finally feeling like I can breathe. The night is cold. Tension, gonna blow in the breeze. We're rolling downtown. We grooving
See it stalled out. On up.